Hi, this is Dave Michael from the Greater Pickens Chamber of Commerce, and today is episode number 5 of the Faces of Pickens, and today we have Chris from the Porkette.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Chris, tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, we're the Porkette. We're a barbecue restaurant on Main Street.
Okay.
Formerly the Parkette, which my cousin Larry Looper had for over 30 years.
Okay.
In various parts of Pickens.
Okay. And so the Parkette, we talked about this briefly before. So the Parkette was your cousin's.
My cousin Larry Looper.
And so was that just barbecue or not?
He was barbecue. He was known well in the area for his pulled pork.
Okay.
He also did short order hot dogs, hamburgers, French fries, and he was located on Ann Street across from Blue Ridge Produce.
Okay.
He moved over to the Country Club for a few years and then on South Catherine.
Okay.
And we moved to Main Street about a year and a half ago.
Okay. And what brought you into that business?
Oh, long story. I've been cooking ever since I was a young boy for my mother and my parents. I lived in Texas for over 30 years as an engineer.
Okay.
Started barbecuing in Texas, and when I came back here, I needed something to do. I was caring for my mother and walked into Larry one day and said, "Do you need help?" And he asked, "Well, would you rather just take over?" So I did.
Huh. What kind of engineer?
Electrical engineer. I'm a semiconductor physics microprocessor designer by trade.
Huh. So probably not super common in the barbecue world, I'm guessing.
Not that common. Maybe in Austin.
Yeah.
Austin's a big high-tech town / barbecue town.
Is that where you're at in Texas?
I was in Austin, Texas, working for IBM for, 24, 25 years.
Cool. Very cool. And so what brought you actually to South Carolina then?
Well, I'm originally from South Carolina. I was born in Easley. My grandfather started Blue Ridge Electric.
Okay.
One of the founders. I guess he didn't start it 80, 90 years ago.
Okay.
When I was young, we moved to Florida, but we kept a house here, always here. When I went to college, my parents moved back here.
Okay. And so when you were cooking barbecue back in Texas and Austin there, what kind of barbecue? Is it, because isn't it like brisket and stuff like that in Texas?
Texas is no pulled pork. Very rarely will you find pulled pork. It's mostly brisket and ribs.
Okay.
So I learned how to do dry rub ribs, dry rub brisket when I lived in Texas because it's the bread and butter of barbecue in Texas.
Yeah, I would think so.
And when I came here to care for my mother, I realized, that's pulled pork.
Yeah, that's the Carolinas. You got to have pulled pork in the Carolinas. Yeah. So you at the restaurant, what kind of meats do you offer at the Porkette?
We offer a variety. We always have ribs, brisket, chicken wings, and pulled chicken unless something happens and my supply is low.
Yeah.
And then we add certain things on the side, like some weekends we'll do crawfish and shrimp etouffee, or we'll do smoked prime rib. We'll do chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie. Just depends on, kind of what the lead chef, Darren, has in his repertoire that week.
Okay. Do you do special things every week, or is it just?
We always have something unusual on the weekends.
Okay.
During the week, it's almost always the same kind of thing.
The normal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fridays are usually meatloaf days where we make our own meatloaf.
Okay.
Thursdays, we usually have a pasta, which is barbecue lasagna many days.
Sounds interesting.
It's different.
Is it pulled pork in that? Is it brisket or what?
Pulled pork, sometimes a little brisket, layers of cheeses and noodles, and a barbecue tomato sauce.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
It's actually different. I've had people tell me it's the most different lasagna they've ever had.
Huh. And as far as, so I've got to ask then this, so you grew up, or not grew up, but you did brisket for a long time, do pulled pork here. What's your favorite?
My favorite is probably the ribs or the brisket. Brisket, growing up here, off and on here, we never had brisket.
Yeah.
Brisket was basically a part of the beef or the cattle that you ground up in a hamburger. So when I moved to Texas, 1990, 1992 was the first time I'd ever heard of brisket.
Okay.
Even though we raise cattle.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, because I'm like, I travel around, like, go to Texas often, and brisket is like, that is king there.
Yeah, yeah. If you have a barbecue place and you don't have brisket in Texas,
You're going to be out visiting. You're not going to a barbecue place.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
Huh.
And a lot of places, if you sauce your barbecue in Texas, they'll raise their eyebrows at you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a different world. Barbecue's different wherever you kind of go. That's one thing I've definitely learned. How long have you been a member of the chamber then?
I started being a member of the chamber in 2022 or 2023.
Okay.
As soon as I took over from my cousin Larry, I just went ahead and continued the chamber membership.
Very cool. And so that was 2022, 2023. That's when you opened up on Main Street then?
End of 2023 is when we opened on Main Street, October 2023.
Okay.
We moved over from South Catherine.
Okay. And then as far as with, obviously you got a lot of different meats that you do, and you have the sides. How do you pick the sides, or who came up with the sides?
The sides are a combination of myself plus Darren Struther, who's the lead chef for the sides, and many of the sides are borrowed from Larry's staples, as well as the Texas barbecue scene staples. You must have baked beans and you must have coleslaw.
Yes.
Just required.
Yeah.
We like to do potato salad, but that's not actually a local area staple. In Texas it is, but here it doesn't seem to be. And green beans, collards, and of course with children, we're very family friendly. You need to have French fries.
Oh, yeah.
We do waffle fries, and with Carolinas, we do fried okra.
Very good.
And I like onion rings, so we do onion rings.
I've had the onion rings. They're my absolute favorite. I always get onion rings when I get there because I love those.
Thank you.
They're definitely really, really good. As far as with being there with the barbecue restaurant and everything like that, how many, you have Darren, you said, is your main chef.
Mm-hmm.
So where did he come from, or how did you meet him?
Oh, when we first moved over there, we needed people, and he walked in one day saying, I saw your ad, and I was thinking about going back to work.
Yeah.
And Darren's from Bermuda.
Really?
So he can cook mostly Caribbean flair, but he also has a Tex-Mex background as well as a seafood background, running a lead chef at a seafood restaurant.
Okay.
And my wife is from Haiti, so I have all that Caribbean flair.
Huh. Do you pull some of that into the barbecue?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sometimes we'll do like a taco. We've done them before where we use pulled pork and a Haitian pickled cabbage.
Huh.
And then Darren will make his own Bermudan type sauces to go on them as well.
Very cool. Anything as far as that you pull that in, so with the meat and stuff like that, do you pull any of the sides or anything like that occasionally with some kind of flair like that too?
Absolutely. My wife is, like I said, from Haiti, and there's several different things they do. Their Haitian mac and cheese is very different, and we haven't done it yet, but we want to.
What's different with Haitian mac and cheese?
They use tomatoes and spices. It's spicy, and it's always baked.
Huh.
Kind of a pie.
Huh. And so besides Darren, how many other people do you employ over there?
Oh, I have a front house person named Alyssa. She's fantastic. Darren's fantastic. And then we have different people who come in different hours that do cooking and cleaning in the front and wait staff. So
very, very fun.
Overall, we have about 10 to 12 people that we employ locally.
Nice. That's awesome. As far as with, talking about the food and stuff like that, is there something that you guys offer that people might be surprised that you guys offer as far as food or service or anything like that?
I think the difference is we do counter service. A lot of people look for sit down, but in Texas, in barbecue, it's counter service, except for the few of the higher end locations. In terms of the sides and the food, I think we do everything a little different on the weekends. We'll do something strange, like I said, the crawfish and shrimp etouffee. Yeah. Or smoked prime rib that you won't find in many places here locally.
And as far as you're on the weekends, what hours are you open?
We're open Wednesday through Sunday for lunch from 11 to 2. Okay. And then Friday and Saturday, we also open up for dinner from 5 to 9. Okay. Now for catering, we're open 24/7. Okay. So you call us, call me directly, call the porkette main line, and if we can, we'll more than accommodate you depending on what we have going on.
What kind of catering and stuff like that do you do? I mean, like what size and like how many people and stuff like that?
We'll do anything from, 5 people or whatever you need, and the largest we've done is 600 people.
Jeez. Wow. Was that like a big wedding or something like that, or?
It was a big non-profit group meeting in Seneca. Okay. Just outside Seneca.
Yeah. Was it mainly like a big barbecue kind of thing?
It was a big potluck barbecue with pulled pork and different sides.
And sides and stuff like that?
Yeah. We always do the Pickens Women's Association Low Country Boil as well down at Looper's Barn.
Oh, okay.
So we do that every year, and that's usually between 300 and 400 people.
I would say that seemed like that was a pretty big event this year. I know that they had it pretty good down there. Did you enjoy doing that whole?
Oh, I love to do that. We always like to do community outreach, so we do that almost at cost.
Oh, okay.
Just because, it's the Pickens Women's Association, and they're raising good money for their organization.
With that, is there anything else as far as community stuff that you do that, like community outreach or anything like that?
And we always give discounts for churches.
Okay.
If they're having a meal and they need catering. For funerals, we always try to do it. I do it at cost as best I can.
Yeah.
We do a lot of weddings. In the community, I like to hire people from all over the community. I work with Tracy quite a bit down at the Pickens shelter.
Okay.
Hire people from there, any of the local churches. So
Cool. And then, you said you're from Easley,
I'm from Pickens, but I was born in Easley.
but you were born in Easley, right? So you live in Pickens now.
I live in Pickens on the same land that my grandfather had. That's been in the family for at least 100 or more years.
That's cool. Huh. And so it's like, and is it an older house and stuff like that too? That
No, it's on a piece of property that when I was 3 years old, I told my mother that I was going to buy that property and I was going to put a house on it when I got older.
That's cool.
It took me about 50 years to do it,
Yeah,
but it's actually across the street from what was my parents' house and across the other street from my grandparents' house.
that's very cool. So, you have, is your other family still local?
I have a nephew who lives here and a brother-in-law.
Okay,
My sister was living here, but she moved back to Alaska, but she still has property here.
very cool. So they still have a lot of roots still.
Yeah, my extended family is still around here as well. My grandfather was one of 7,
Wow,
and so I'm related to quite a few people in the area.
that's really
Right.
cool. So even though you were out and about in Texas and other places, still come back. This is still your home.
Yeah, it still is. And it's always been my home ever since I was a little boy. We were here every summer, even though I lived in Florida.
Yeah. As far as with that, I mean, obviously you've been here for a long time then, or more or less. Favorite thing about Pickens?
I like the small town atmosphere, and the pace of life is much more amenable than a large city. I lived in Austin, Texas for a long time, and the traffic
All that stuff.
and you never know your neighbors in a large city, which is the funniest thing. You may live 20 feet from them, but you don't know them.
Yeah.
But now my neighbor is about a quarter mile away is Billy Kiesler. I've known Billy most of my life.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's that's one thing I've noticed here too since we've been living here is like you start knowing, you start becoming more involved with the town because it's just one of those like,
Right.
it's not a ton of people here, and it's definitely really cool.
But Pickens is changing, and it's going to change.
Yeah, it always is. Your building, we talked a little bit about this beforehand. You have a new art piece on the side of your building.
Oh, yes, yes. Jordan Freeman did a wonderful mural for us on the side of the building. Welcome to Pickens.
Yeah. And when was that done?
He did it last year.
Okay.
It's been less than 9 months. He did it last summer, I believe.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very nice piece on the side of there. As far as with you, is there what would surprise somebody about you or your business that other than obviously you're electrical engineer? Is that what it is?
Electrical engineering background,
Doing barbecue.
doing barbecue. I think that's what would surprise people.
Yeah.
I think what also would surprise people is I worked on the Cassini-Huygens mission that went to Saturn,
Oh, really?
and the Hubble telescope,
Very cool.
and the first Mars rover,
Huh.
and the Patriot missile,
Jeez.
and the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3.
Which is probably more popular with most people.
Yeah. I worked on the first artificial intelligence music generation program.
Huh. What's that called?
It's called Watson Beat. I don't even know if it's in existence anymore,
Yeah.
but
So how do people contact you as far as get in touch with you for doing catering or just where you're at and stuff like that?
well, you can always call the Porkette main line, which is 864-878-2400,
Okay.
or you can call me direct, and I have a Texas number, but I'm local, 512-296-3537,
Okay.
or you can email us at info@porkette.com.
Cool. And so that's and then you're right here on Main Street.
Yep,
right
walk
by
in
the-
anytime.
Yeah. Okay. And come on up with it there. And last but not least, I guess, as far as anything coming up special or new with the Porkette.
Well, we do have the July 4th, 5th celebration.
Yeah.
We are looking at teaming up with a couple of the other local businesses for some kind of a restaurant kind of crawl, I guess. As soon as the Lark guys open up, we hope to work with them.
Cool. That'd be fun to go around and have like where they do like the different entrees where you go around.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Dustin. Sorry, Dustin, I haven't talked to you officially about that, Dustin and Bo, but it was an idea I had the other day.
It'd be very, very cool. A good deal. Well, Chris, it was great having you on Faces of Pickens.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
And we enjoyed learning all about you. We look forward to coming down and seeing you at the Porkette.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.